What is up, guys? Welcome back to 25 Days of Flutter. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Flutter animations. So animations are a cool way to make your app more interactive. And in this video, we're going to take a look at two types of animations. So the first example we're going to look at is this Flutter logo. So as you can see, we just have a simple image on the screen right now. So if you want to go ahead into the description and navigate to my GitHub or the course website, you can go ahead and grab this code and just copy and paste it in. So we're going to animate this by making it grow from invisible to its current size. So the first thing to do is to import the animation package. So we'll come up here and we can say import package flutter / animation.dart, just like that. So just like the material package had all of the widgets for us to use, the animation package has all of the animations at our disposal. So we're going to need to use the animation and animation controller. So let's go into our logo app state class and we'll say animation. This will be a double. We'll call this animation. Then we need to define an animation controller. And we'll call that controller. Let's go ahead and drop below our override, and we're going to create an init state method. So this will have a return type of void, init state, and inside of here, we're going to activate our animation. So we're going to activate it on when the state is changed. That's why we're putting it inside of this method here. So we'll first say super.initState, and then we are going to set the controller, animation controller, and inside of here, we can set the duration. So if I go like this, it's a couple of options. So we're going to say duration. We're going to set that equal to const duration, and we can pass in units of time. We'll say seconds, maybe 2. End that off with a semicolon. And then we're going to say comma vsync this. And we are getting an error here because we need to go up here to our class logo app state, and we need to say with single ticker provider state mixin. We'll have to add this to any class that we'll use in animation. All right, once we have that, we'll drop below the controller, say animation, and we're going to set that equal to tween type double. And this just takes in a begin and an end. So we'll say begin is 0 and end is 300 dot animate. And we need to pass in what we're going to animate. In our case, that is the controller. And then we are going to say add listener. And then in here, we're going to create a set state method, just like that. And we don't need to put anything in here. It will work with nothing, but we do need it. And once we have that, we can simply go down here into our display. We'll change the height to the animation.value, which remember is starting at 0 and is ending at 300. And instead of just being 300. And we'll add animation.value for the width as well. And then the last step is to add our dispose method. So we'll say override, we'll say void dispose, and we'll just say controller dot dispose, and then we'll say super dot dispose, just like that. Now with that, we should be good. So if I come up here and give it a hard refresh, we should see that animation. And I forgot one part. We need to, at the end here, say controller dot forward, just like that, to actually increment our animation. Now if I give it a hard refresh, we should see it just like that. So pretty cool. So this next animation is actually from the Flutter documentation, like the first one was. And what it's going to do is we will have a container on the screen, and when we click a button, it will resize it randomly, and it will change the color, but it will animate it so it will look nice. And this will go over a lot of the other concepts of animation and what you can do with it. So for this, we're going to need to import one more thing, and that is the math package. So we'll say import Dart math, just like that. And we're just going to rename this to animated container app, just like that. And we don't need this anymore. Instead, we need a double width. We'll set this equal to 50. And we need a double height, also equal to 50. And this will be the starting size of our container. We also need a starting color. So we'll say color equals to colors.green. And the last property will be the border radius geometry property. Call this border radius. This will be equal to border radius dot circular 8.0. And this is our starting container. So we will randomly choose new values for all of these and animate that change happening to the user. All right, let's get rid of this, except for the override. We still need that. And we will change the child, and we will make that a material app. That way we can give it a home property of a scaffold. We'll give an app bar with a title of animations. And let's get rid of this. Now if we format this up, we should see this come through. And then let's give it a body of center. And the child will be the container. So this will be an animated container. And this takes in the properties that we defined here. So we can say width is equal to width, height is equal to height, and then color and border radius go inside the decoration property. That will be box decoration. We'll say border radius is equal to our border radius, and the color equal to the color. Format that up, and over here we're getting an error. Duration not equal to null is not true. So right now we don't have a duration property. So let's go ahead and add one. We'll just make the duration 1 second. So we'll say duration seconds 1. And now we should see that appear on the screen. There we go. And then we can add a curve feature. We'll say curves dot fast out slow in. Now we need a floating action button that the user can click to actually activate this animation. So we'll come below the center and we'll add a floating action button. And on pressed, we want to set the state. Inside of here, we are going to set these values to new values. So we'll grab a random double. We'll say final random equals to random. Then we can use that to generate a new width and height. So we'll say width is equal to random dot next int 300. So any number 0 or 1 through 300 dot 2 double, and we will do the same for height. Next, we need to generate a random color. We'll say color is equal to color dot from RGBO, which takes in the red value, the green value, the blue value, and the opacity. We'll set this to 1. The red value will be random dot next int 256, and that will be the same for all of them. And then finally, we need the border radius. So we'll go down here and we'll say border radius is equal to border radius dot circular, and we'll do what we've been doing. We'll just change this to 200 instead of 300. And one last touch, let's give this a child of icons dot play arrow, just like that. Now if we refresh this, as you see, we get our starting container. If we hit this, it should assign our random values and animate that. There we go. So it is working. Alright guys, so that was animations in Flutter. And in the next video, we're going to be taking a look at handling user input using forms.